And
And
it's actually going to be a rematch.
it is. It is going to be Yona versus Dark Omicron again. And
Yeah.
the this time it is going to be a different map as far as I can see. The first game was won by Yona previously, and putting LowLandLions one up against Mouse Control. So in the bottom right on Whirlwind, we have the pink Zerg player, LowLandLions, Yona. And Jesse, do me the honor and split this introduction with me for the last game of today.
In the upper right-hand corner of Whirlwind, we have our purple Protoss player, here representing Mouse Control, looking to avenge his loss against Yona and give his team the win in that all-important veto for the offline finals. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you to Dark Omicron!
Oh my god. Seriously, for the next DSCL, you have to come as an announcer. Clutch will pale in comparison to your introductions.
I would totally do that. If I am free during the next weekend, I don't even need to cast. I will just stand on stage and shout.
Oh yeah!
I am looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to this rematch. It was actually a very, very close game between Dark Omicron and Yona. Went for quite a long time on a two-player map, so I think we're in for a very long game here on, of course, the largest map in the map pool, Whirlwind. Whirlwind, a bit controversial when it first came out, but now has been around for a very long time and seems to be used a lot. Since Heart of the Swarm came out, a lot of players developing some very good strategies using the size of this map.
Oh, definitely. Now, we can see just from the openings that both of these players are taking this ace match very, very seriously, and neither of them wants to be making any mistakes. Usually, when...
We're going to see a cannon rush, aren't we? Dark Omicron did the double probe scout.
We could. He did the double probe scout, just to be sure it is not going to be a 6-pull. That's why he got his Forge on 14 as opposed to 17, or maybe even a Nexus first. And this is just a fake out. There goes the cancel. So, Yona not overreacting, but at the same time not underestimating the situation, not having scouted his opponent entirely, and he did know about the Forge. So, sending 4 drones, that's a proper response. You don't want that first pylon getting up, because then you pretty much have to, you put yourself into more trouble than it is worth, and you may end up cancelling your hatch, at which point it's not really a good situation for you as a Zerg. Now, the probe is going to be hunted down. 6 Zerglings, though, being produced just instead of 2 or 4. And third base is going to be planted down by Yona immediately here.
Yep, Yona just moving out there, waiting until he's got the cash, but nice chasing that probe off, stops the potential of a cannon rush at the third, which many Zergs only spot a little bit too late and end up losing their third, and quite often losing the game from there. So good moves there by the LowLandLions Zerg player, setting up nicely for a future mid-game.
Now, interesting thing, on the Protoss side of things, we only have 1 gas being taken. This could be either a very fast third, which I would be rather against on this map, because it's pretty exposed and hard to hold on. So what I'm hoping for is a relatively fast gateway push, but we do have a Zergling run by, and there is not a mothership core in the making, so these Zerglings will provide for quite an entertainment for Dark Omicron, especially in the form of trying to raise his APM to deal with these Zerglings. And at this point in time, since what I expect was supposed to be a fast gateway attack, he can't go for that at this point in time, because those Zerglings would scout the gateways going down. He has no option of killing them.
And they scout the 1 gas as well, so he's having to make a second gas down at the expansion. Dark Omicron in a really bad position after this. Those Zerglings should never have been allowed to get into the expansion and then into the main. No real options to either expand or to just chuck down a load of gateways and attack, because Yona will be ready for it. So we've got a ton more gases going down. We'll be up to 3 extractors taken at this point, but his tech will be behind, and even if he wants to do a gateway attack, it will be behind. And Yona is starting to get prepared.
Yeah, and at this point in time, it will not be a gateway attack. There is no way it can be. The gas ends up being cancelled anyways, so still only on 2 gases.
Well,
okay.
What did you say? It can't be a gateway attack because I just see 5 gateways starting to build.
Okay, so he's going for this anyway. The problem is it is going to hit way, way too late. I mean, these gateways will finish after the 8-minute... Or roughly approximately at the 8-minute 20 mark. It takes 10 seconds to morph them into gateways, which puts you at 8:30, and another warp in of 5 seconds, which is 8:35. There is not even a proxy pylon down yet, and the Roach Warren is already being planted down. If he's going for a mass gateway attack with +1, yeah, it will line up. No, it should not work. Of course, you know, Yona knows the timings as well as anybody, and he didn't see any gateways being planted down when he was scouting the base.
Oh, but this is great by Yona. Look at this. He's made a massive Zerglings. They're out on the map. They're seeing the forward pylons go down. They're trying to pick off the probe. That is their goal, is to stop any pylons coming down closer to this. Trying to pick off one pylon falls. If he can get this next pylon, Dark Omicron is in such a bad position.
I think he will get it. The probe is already has already gone down, and this is absolutely shut down without the proxy pylons. There is no chance of reinforcing. The gateways are finished, but the first warp in, it's not happening. It will have to happen back at Dark Omicron's base, but at this point, I think it would be a little bit wiser to just forget about it and give this attack up. But he's not doing that. He's going for it anyways.
He's still trying to go for it, and Yona's still seeing it with a couple of lings moving about. He's got a bunch of roaches made, a lot more speedlings reinforcing as well. Of course, there is the +1 attack for Dark Omicron, and we've had no spine crawler go down, interestingly enough, for Yona. Yona really wanted to just get in there and try and cut this off. Good time warp there by Dark Omicron. Good control there. Stops his units from being surrounded. Now warping in more stalkers to help deal with the roaches.
30 more lings on the way. All Yona has to do is wait a little bit and get a good flank. And he should be in a pretty good spot to defend this. Because this is 8 gates, but it's just gateway units. He's getting a macro hash behind this as well. This is going to be a difficult fight for him to take, but I think he will end up defending, and he goes for the surround. He does get it. Those Stokers are in peril, and they will go down. Once those Stokers are gone, it's just the Zealots, and with only 2 gases still back in Dark Omicron space, there's very little chance of transitioning out of this, but so far, those lanes have gone down blazingly fast for Yona, and he's in a little bit of trouble trying to reinforce with more links. That's a very larva-heavy defense here for him. It's going to be really close.
Yeah, the thing is now all the Zealots are gone, which means the Speedlings are going to start to tear through these Stalkers. The +1 attack Zealots really what was holding the Speedlings at bay, and now once the Stalkers disappear, Yona is going to be holding on here. Wow, he's been throwing a hatchery down right by those pylons.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if he's trolling at this point, or if he's just happy that he won the decider match, or at least, you know, seems like he won it. Because honestly, I think he knows that there is no transition out of this for Dark Omicron, and that he just basically went for an attack that was too delayed to work. Yeah. He's trying to take additional gases. Probably will try to go into DTs or something like that, because, you know, a robo transition that's going to be too late. The threat of Mutalisks by the Zerg is too great to try to go robo at this stage in the game. But lair only just now going down. The thing is, Dark Omicron has no idea about the lair timing. Usually it's already done by now.
Yeah, obviously Dark Omicron not going to be GGing even after that failed attack, even though he knows it's going to be a very, very difficult comeback for him. There's no sense in GGing. There's nothing you gain by doing it at this point. Well, there's still just even the tiniest of possibilities that you could win this match for your team. It is a best of one to decide the winners here, so he's going to be staying in for as long as he can. He's putting down the robo facility. It's so late. Lair is finishing, +1 missile attacks is beginning for Yona. Yona just, well, playing perfectly. He already has 5 hatcheries, so he's not going to have to worry about larvae for a good while in the future. Even putting down spores in the mineral lines just in case. He had the same thought that we did. Obviously went behind Dark Shrine.
But he's going to go for double robo, so maybe, you know, by seeing that many roaches, he's like, well, I forced a lot of roaches, so it wouldn't make actually any sense for him to try to go into melee units, because he already does have ranged units out. So I need Immortals and Colossi, which, you know, the Hydrogen is down, and 6 Hydras already in production, 8, and the count is rising. But I don't really know. I mean, there's just not enough for Dark Omicrons. He's too far behind. The sentry count is very, very, very low, which will make it very difficult to hold off any kind of frontal assault by the Zerg. I wouldn't actually be surprised if Yona just took, immediately after defending that attack, just took an additional base. This is basically the easiest response after defending an all-in. Just take an additional base as soon as
Absolutely. I mean, because he has the initial 3 bases up. He's got 5 hatcheries now, and so he's well set up in the future. He's got a very easy take on the next base as well. The creep is already spread to there. He's got a good army set up. He's got the Spire now on the way. But Roach Hydra, more than enough to hold off any secondary all-in. At this point, we're seeing no Robotics Bay, we're seeing nothing but Immortals, and that's not the best response, unfortunately. Now, fair enough, with 4 Immortals, you're going to start to do damage to the Roaches, but Hydras are just going to start to take these down very, very quickly, as well as the Mothership Core. They will just fall so fast.
And of course...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, of course we are much later in the game, which means the creep spread has advanced beyond the point of you being able to put the proxy pylons too close to the Zerg's bases, and creep will help tremendously in this defense by providing speed boost and vision to your opponent. So your reinforcements will be further away, and you will practically probably get outmaneuvered every single time. Nice job here by the Zerg player taking out those rocks to try to get into a bigger position. Dark Omicron doesn't know where his opponent's forces are, but Yona does, and he's setting up for a concave. He's going in. Beautiful force fields going down for Dark Omicron, but that is only going to last for that much long. Double time warp, and well, I don't think he can do that again.
He just doesn't have the forces available. He's doing his best here. He's microing very, very well, but when this attack happened, it was a max supply to just over 100, and that was never going to be enough. He can break through here, he can start to move in, but he's no observer to start cleaning up the creep. The warp prism will fall, and of course we have 5 hatcheries worth of production coming out for the LowLandLions Zerg player.
And after these force fields fall, well, basically that's going to be it. I have to say, Dark Omicron knew that he is on the clock. He did not want to give the Zerg too much time, so he had to have pushed when he did. That was his only chance of winning this game after the failed all-in. And he did the best he could to segment the army off and be as cost-efficient with the units as possible, but just too big of a reinforcement capacity for the Zerg, too great of an economy, and him being too far behind from the start without actually killing the Zerg. And here you have it. GG, well played out of Dark Omicron, and very surprisingly, at least to me, LowLandLions take the series over MCon 3-2. I'm already looking forward seeing these guys battle it out in the finals in The Hague, because these games have just been so